Hey everyone, welcome to another garage movement video. Today's video we're going to be going over the split jerk. So let me show you what it looks like first and then we'll kind of break it down from there. The weight starts up at the shoulders. You will jump land into a split, bring the feet back together, and then return the bar down. Okay, so that's what the split jerk looks like. Let's break this down. First we're going to start with the rack position. The rack position is going to be how the bar rests up on the shoulders. So we want our elbows forward, okay? If you guys remember the front squat, we are in a front rack position where we might have like a little bit more of a fingertip grip, loose kind of grip where our elbows are really tall and it creates this shelf. Well, we can't really do that with the split jerk. We want a little bit more of a grip. So we're going to get a hold of that bar and then bring the elbows kind of down and out, but you can still see that the bar is resting across the shoulders and the collarbone. This is really important because when we go to drive the weight up to get all that momentum through the hips, through the shoulders, we want it to be transferred really well. If the bar is too low, it's going to want to slide down the chest as you drop. This is also more uncomfortable on the wrists, which a lot of people tend to complain about. So to help fix that, you want to get the bar a little higher. Okay, so it's going to feel a little uncomfortable because it's across your throat a little bit, but as you can see, I'm still talking and I'm just fine. Okay, so that's going to be your rack position, okay? And keep in mind, the press on this is the exact same as the strict press, the push press, and the push jerk. That's really should be the same position as well through the rack, okay? The only difference now is our footwork and how we execute the lift, all right? So without the bar, I'm gonna show you what the footwork looks like. When I set up, my feet are gonna be directly under my hips. Okay? And when I land, I'm gonna be in a split position. Whatever foot naturally goes forward, you're just gonna stick with that side the entire time. You do not have to alternate. Get that question a lot. But when you land, we want a little bit more of a base, front to back with the split, but also a little wider than where we're at. So if we're directly under our hips, we're gonna actually, our front foot's gonna go up just a hair, and then out to the right a little bit, and then our back foot is going to be back and to the left. Now obviously this is according to my right foot goes forward, but in your case your left foot might go forward, so it would be the opposite. But just so you know. Now when we land, we want to be in this nice soft position. The other thing we want to note when we land is our feet. This is the only time that our feet are actually slightly pigeon-toed. Every other time they're either going to be straight forward or slightly toes pointed out. In this scenario we're slightly in. So our front foot is slightly in, our back foot is slightly in, and you notice my heel's up, and then I'm able to have a nice soft stance. This is gonna give me a really good balance. A very common fault I see is this back heel being on the ground and the foot being turned out like this. If you notice what that did is now my hips are completely facing the wrong direction, and obviously this is not gonna help you whatsoever. So we want to be able to turn that foot in so our hips are now square and we're catching in a good landing position. Once we finish the split and we're in control, we're going to bring our front foot forward first, then a big step forward with our back foot. Once we have this position, it's very important we keep doing that with the weight overhead before we return it down. That's also a common fault, is after you split, people will bring the weight down first before they bring their feet back together. So make sure after you split, you bring your feet back together and then return the bar down. So here's my fake bar. I'll do another example with the bar in a second, but this is a way to practice. What I would do several times before you even touch a barbell is either use a PVC pipe, broomstick, or just an air pipe like this, an air bar, okay? You're going to jump, land, split, and be aggressive, okay? You should be stomping your feet, and at the same time you stomp your feet, at the same time you should be locked out with active shoulders over your head, and then practice that return. If, when you guys are doing this drill, if you catch yourself with that foot down, the hips turned, before you stand up, just spin, correct it, feel it, then bring your feet back together, okay? Sometimes you guys are gonna go and you're gonna feel off balance. Sometimes that's because you're doing a common fault, which is a tightrope kind of stance where one foot's in front of the other. This is not good for balance. So we kind of want to go out with our feet when we stick that, and then go front foot, and then back, okay? So that kind of nails down the footwork and the timing a bit. So when we do this with the barbell, everything else is the same, okay? We're gonna get in that good rack position first. Set yourself up, okay? Keep your stomach tight, butt tight. You are gonna dip, drive, and jump, okay? And push yourself down, okay? So I'm pushing down, okay? So I'm getting underneath the bar. Then once I stick it, I'll stand back up, return the weight down, okay? What I mean by getting under it, this would be the opposite, where I just jump really high, okay? We don't want that. We want to get the bar elevated with the drive and then push ourselves down quickly to get under that bar. This is all about quickness and speed and timing and technique, okay? It's not about raw strength. If you're getting to a point where you're muscling it up at any point, you're probably doing it wrong, so keep that in mind, okay? Again, when you stick that landing, you should already be locked out overhead. You shouldn't have to muscle it up anymore, okay? That's gonna extremely limit you on the weight that you can be able to do with this movement. So practice, practice, practice with light weight first, because that's going to transition into that heavier weight. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.